first up, we have our featured artist, Abigail Kramer. Welcome. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
So how about we start by you just kind of telling us a little bit about your art and what it is you do.
Well, I'm an artist. I work mainly with watercolor and colored pencil, mixed media for the most part, though some are solely one or the other. I am inspired hugely by nature. I think that shows in the work that I do, which is mostly crystals and flowers and leaves and mushrooms, and it's what I love, and so I think it comes out that way. And color too, obviously, is a big part of what I love. So yeah, I make art at home.
So when did you start doing art? Like, is that something you grew up with, or did you get into it later?
I absolutely did grow up with it. My mom is here in the room and a fabulous artist, and so she taught the basics of art and art history to me because I was homeschooled, and I just have always loved it. There's actually a picture of me when I was probably like 18 months, like a year and a half old, holding a pencil, and I didn't realize this until like a couple of years ago. The book sitting next to me on the table next to my little self holding a pencil was a rock and mineral book, which I just could not believe it because I'd seen the picture before and it had never clicked. And I've been doing this mineral series for 11 years. And so to look back at that picture of myself at 1 year old with a rocks and minerals book and a pencil and blank paper next to me, it was like, it blew my mind.
You just knew.
Yeah, I guess. My 1 year old self knew my destiny.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So can you tell me, you mentioned later in life how you got interested in the rocks and stuff like that. Can you share that with everyone here?
Yeah, absolutely. My husband and I lived in Arizona for about 8 years, and so at first I didn't even know like geology or anything about rocks. I think we would walk down the gravel road when we lived in western North Dakota, and I'd see little glints of agate and things like that when the sun would shine through them, and I liked that. But until we lived in Arizona and I could go out into the desert and find a rainbow of rocks just on the ground, like agates and jaspers and obsidian, so many beautiful rocks. And then I visited the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show that they hold every January, and people from all over the world come to sell the stones and minerals that are local to them, and it blew my mind. Like every room in every hotel in that city is full of beautiful gems and minerals. So I went 1 year and my mind exploded, and I had to start drawing them and painting them because, yeah, I don't know, it was just, I had to.
I wonder if we should grab one of your pieces and we'll just use here. Do you just want to talk about them a little bit?
For sure. Actually, it's interesting that you grabbed these two because these are both solely watercolor. So I did this series of quartz. Like, these are all just quartz varieties. So it's different minerals that go inside. You usually think of quartz as being clear, glass-like, and it can be, but there's also all these other minerals that can, the word is escaping me, but basically grow with the crystal and turns them all these beautiful colors. So even though it's one crystal, which is crystal, then it gets to be like amethyst and ahoite and spessartine garnet on it. So it's every color, but it's still just quartz. And then I also like just natural formed rocks, and these are all heart rocks that I found from all over the world, and come home and paint them with, not paint on the rocks, but do a watercolor painting of the rocks. And again, in every color, because that's what I do.
Now, I have to be honest, when I first saw your art, I thought you were doing photography because it looks so realistic. Like, I can't tell the difference on this. And it's amazing that you can do that with watercolor. So what is your secret to getting it so it looks like the gemstones are like shiny, or just how do you get it to look so real?
I think that's something that you learn being an artist, because I can remember and even look back at the sketchbooks and paintings, and I'm missing that depth. I didn't know yet how to capture that, and it's hugely to shadows and highlights. Okay. And I don't know how else to say that. Like, even to look on the quartz, and there's these little white triangles at the top. and that's a highlight. And so to have those lines, it is more difficult to do that on something that is smooth, but to add a dark area here and it's lighter over here, you can see it gives the illusion that, or the feeling that it has form, even though it's flat.
So when you switched from doing other art over to the minerals and stuff, did you study and stuff to learn the different textures and the new techniques?
I don't know. When I first started the mineral series, I had seen some of them, but I wasn't able to study them in person. And so to see a photo, I think I often got it wrong in the beginning because I didn't know the shape of the crystal. I'm not sure what your question was asking, but for the heart rocks, I literally can hold it in my hand and see the shape of it, and I think maybe that does help to portray it that way, because you can look directly at it and say, where is the shadow on this rock or crystal or whatever it is. So working from life is helpful that way.
Yeah, that's amazing. So where do you draw your inspiration now if you're not in Arizona and you can't go rock hunt out in your backyard in the desert?
I think it's one of those things where I love looking for things. I grew up on I Spy books and that kind of stuff, and so I have that impulse in me. So when I lived in the desert, I looked for rocks. Up here, I looked for mushrooms and I looked for colorful leaves. So I'm always searching the ground, and I have to say, even though I haven't drawn a lot of mushrooms, they're inspiration for me. I take pictures of them and I enjoy them, and so I still love the rocks. That's something that I won't lose love of. So even though I have to live far away from them, though I do get up to Lake Superior, and there's some great agates up there. And there's beautiful rocks in the Menards parking lot. So, inspiration is everywhere. You can't get away from it.
Is there anything that you haven't done with your art yet that you'd like to do?
Yes. Oh, that's a huge. I would love to do so many things. I'd love to be able to do mural work someday. I don't have the ability yet, and my kids are young, so I feel like some of my opportunities have been a little bit closer to home while my kids are young, but they're getting older, and I'm excited to see what comes next.
Well, I may know a place that does a lot of mural work.
Yeah, you might.
All right, well, I'm going to open it up to questions. Who has a question?
I'm curious if your career path has always been an artist, or if you've done other things. I have a daughter that's an artist, and so I'm just kind of curious as to your career path with the art.
It's a little abnormal. My husband is the breadwinner in our house. I have been a stay-at-home mom, but before that I was a florist, which I feel like was a good way to, be artistic and love color and form and all of that, and get paid for it. And I still do actually work at Detroit Lakes Floral here in the Washington Square Mall, just seasonally, so when they need help. But yeah, for my job, I started selling on Etsy 10 years ago, and so that's been my part-time job for all these years. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm just curious if you want to describe anything about the originals of what shows up on the cards and on the puzzles, how you did the originals, what was the original size, and how you build those collages.
Very good question, because I don't actually paint a piece with laying out the crystals like this. Most of the time I'm working about 6 inches square, and so I draw each mineral separately, and then I'll take them to a graphic designer and have them combined into the prints that you see, where everything is all together. Some of my work I do all at once, and you can see some examples in my sketchbooks over there of everything all on one page. But these are, that would be an interesting challenge to do an original of all of the pieces. But I do like working small, so this is something that's worked out really well for me. Yeah.
Besides Etsy, what are the other avenues you use to sell your work?
I've promoted on Instagram and Facebook for the years that I've had Etsy, and that's been very good. It was better in the past. I have to say social media has changed a lot in the last few years, but it was a very good promotional avenue back, a few years. But it's always going to be changing. Technology changes quickly, and I don't know if I'm keeping up with that or not, but I would like to start doing more in-person shows. I have always done the Holmes Art Show. That's coming up in November, and I love that show. It's a really great time, and I would like to start doing more of the local shows like Art in the Park, and just so many cool local artists. So it's fun to be a part of that.
Do you ever offer art classes? Or would you?
I have not done that, but possibly.
Is there anything else that you'd like us to know about your art?
I think a lot of people think they aren't artistic or that they couldn't be. And I would love to encourage anyone who has any interest to just pick up a pencil or pick up a paintbrush or whatever it is that interests you and try. Because I have to say, even after literally my whole life of making art, I still will look at an inspiration piece and go, can I actually draw that? And all I can do is try. All anybody can do is try.
All right. Well, how can we as a community support you in your art?
Gosh, I feel very supported right now. Thank you very much to Project 412, get it right, and you, and I feel that, I do. I'm so thankful for the local shows that I've been a part of, and yeah, I feel supported.
All right. And can you let us know what your social media handle is so people can follow you?
Yes, I've had it for forever, so it's kind of an old, but it's Twiggy Abby, TWIGGYABI. So that's my Instagram handle, and then from there you can find all my other Etsy shop. The link is on there, and that's probably the best place to find me. And it's my business card, and I don't know if we can share that on YouTube, but yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right. Well, thank you. Let's give it up for Abby. Together next up is Melissa Jasperson Tate and Donnie Tate, the owners of Beachfront Haven.
Hello.
Hi. So this is a big day. This is your grand opening.
Grand
And
opening.
this is the final piece of Beachfront Haven, or not yet?
Not yet.
Yeah,
No,
well,
no.
3 rooms left, so.
Yeah, there's more to come. Yeah, right.
Okay. We just on this.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So why don't you take us back to where you started with the project?
Sure. So it was about a year ago when we were working with a few other partners of ours on this idea of what to do with this property, what it could become, what made the most sense for this spot, a very important spot on Detroit Lake. And so after working on some different formas and some ideas, we decided that keeping a boutique, unique hotel here would be the most beneficial or unique way to use the space. I had worked in hotel development and design and building since 2012. And one of my favorites that I had done was a boutique hotel that was soft branded, not driven by a franchise telling you what design it needed to look like, what the feel needed to be. And after working in the industry for so long, I wanted to kind of create our own. And with Donnie's background and my love for this kind of design, it's been a fun road to get to where we're at today. So.
And it did not always. Oh, I turned this on. And it did not always look like this, right?
No.
Yeah. Donnie, do you want to tell us what it used to look like?
Yeah, it wasn't good. We hauled a lot of dumpsters out out of here. And that was the toughest part, you know. 2 layers of floors, old carpet.
4 layers of wallpaper.
Yeah. Don't forget about that.
Right, right.
I remember the social media posts.
Oh, yeah. Furniture far past its age, things like that. And
Yeah.
I think that was the other, the unique thing about this property alone is it hadn't really gone through a really big renovation like that in quite some time. So we dealt with things that's hard to plan for in a building like this, which is the plumbing, the electrical, and all of those pieces that go with it. So there's a lot of updates that have to happen that you're not prepared for. And thankfully, I mean, this is a very sturdy, well-built building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put together.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Right. And we've had some really great vendors to work with that helped walk us through it to be as efficient as possible to get us to where we're at. So, but yeah, I think that was probably our biggest challenge. Yeah. Yeah, so.
Yeah, this was a manager's house right here that we're sitting in.
Yeah. This used to be the manager's living room here and a bedroom over here. So the idea of this came to be that to have a good check-in area for our guests. We do manage our guests' rooms more as a VRBO, so it is where you can receive a code. You don't even have a check-in process. However, as we all know, there's always something nice about stopping in and asking questions or getting something extra that you didn't need or want directions somewhere. Kind of a visitor center atmosphere. We felt like that was a really important piece of that guest day. And then the idea of being on the beach, and right now, you know, before us opening, there was no place to grab a concession type item when you're on the beach. You have kids out there that are hungry or thirsty, and you're not necessarily ready to go sit down and eat with them. You want something, a quick snack. That's what we're here for. So yeah. And then the idea of the coffee shop combined with it, we wanted the cozy atmosphere, so anybody's welcome to come in and sit and enjoy the view. We felt the two combined, it's a hard thing to do. We're talking, you know, concessions and coffee shop, but I feel like with the help of my designer that I've been working with for quite a few years and just Donnie's MacGyver abilities, we were able to make it happen. So yeah.
So speaking of his MacGyver abilities, do you have any stories from the renovation where you had to utilize those that you could share? Was there a fun surprise?
Yeah, but I probably don't want to talk about it. No. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because our staff, you know, we work together obviously with multiple other hotel properties, and if there's something that's broken or it's like maybe it's outdated and there's no way it can be fixed, he's the kind of guy that could create something to make that thing work again. Like it's just, there's some things that even our staff are like, this is a MacGyver opportunity, and he definitely takes it and it blows our mind with it. So it's this was a unique building that needed that more often, and you know, I don't think he realized how often that happened, and he was able to help us through it. So yeah.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about the units you have here, because they're not just standard hotel rooms?
Right, so right now we have 9 operating units. 3 of those are 2-bedroom units, so there's actually 2 physical bedrooms with queen beds in them, and then a full living room and a kitchen area. We have a 1-bedroom unit, which has the bedroom that actually has a bedroom with the doors, and then the living room area. And then the rest of ours are actually our most popular sale is our king standard units. However, they all have kitchenettes, full stoves, full, there's silverware, there's plates, you can cook, you know, if you wanted to stay for a week, it'd be a perfect, you know, location for that. So the additions that he's talking about, we do have a cabin in back that we're going to be renovating later this summer, this fall, and hopefully opening that up this next year. And then we have another guest room that is our next phase 2 plan. But I think we're most excited about getting this gift shop open was a big step for us, because it is really important to bring our public into this as part of the community. We want everybody to be part of this growth. But we have some really neat ideas of resort atmospheres that we're working on with saunas in the winter, and we have a crazy idea of a pool that we'd like to add resort guests as well. So there's some really neat things that we can't wait to start on next now that this has been complete. So.
And when you're doing projects like this, especially because this one isn't branded, where are you drawing your inspiration from?
I have to say it's probably from my time with all of the different other franchises that I've worked with. I've worked with Marriott's, I've worked with the Hiltons, I've worked with the Wyndhams and the Choice brands. And I go to conferences, I meet with a lot of designers when we go there because they're always there to fulfill any brand ideas, and there's always new things that come up. And honestly, I like to have it where it's just comfortable. I want somebody to be able to walk in a room and feel like they're at home. And you know, all brands do things differently, but I take pieces from all of it. I take their inspiration, things that I see that work, things that I see that we get great compliments from, and things that we don't, and try to put it all into one. And we kind of want to have our stake on it too. You know, we've a little bit of us at the same time.
So now you've been in hotels for quite a while, but if we could go back to the beginning when you first started in hotels, how did you figure out how to navigate and how to get through everything?
Sure. Well, actually, if you really want to go back, my first time in hospitality was working for the Convention Bureau in Fargo. And that's really where you have to have a hospitality heart when you're in this business. And I think once you're in it, it's really hard to get it out of your blood. The idea of bringing people into a community and seeing their enjoyment with it, it's something that you just really pursue. After that, you know, I had started working at the Holiday Inn in Detroit Lakes as the director of sales, doing some of the similar types of promotions and trying to get people to Detroit Lakes. And obviously, being from this area, it is in my heart. Then when my first development was the Grand State Hotel in Suites in Thief River Falls. And that one was the first time that I was able to, from ground up, build a hotel. And Grand State at the time did not have a prototype of design. And so with the help of my designers, I created the first design scheme, which they, and at the end of it, loved so much they made it one of their optional designs for future Grand Stays to follow through with. So that was really the only brand that I've worked with that has that kind of flexibility. From then on, you know, we developed the Microtel in Moorhead. That one, they tell you exactly what furniture, what color, what style, you know, what to serve in each breakfast and room and things like that. And then we've developed the Hampton Inn in Warroad. So with those builds, you learn a lot. And I think to your question is, how do you navigate that? You kind of have to wing it, just like in anything we do in life, really. You figure it out as you go. You try to put a lot of common sense into it and hope that the outcome's going to be what you picture or envision. So, and then a big part of it, honestly, I couldn't do what I do without my team. If you don't have a team that has that same heart, you will not succeed. So.
All right, I think we're going to open it up to questions. Who has a question?
So it is wonderful to see this come full circle. I'm going to age myself, but I may or may not have stayed here in the 80s. But it is wonderful, it's nostalgic. I love the boutique feel, and I wish you much success.
Thank you.
Congratulations! This is like a gift to West Shore Drive. It looks so cool. Also, you mentioned like saunas in the winter. What else do you guys hope for winter tourism? Because I think it's growing thanks to like Project 412 and other these organizations that are, you know, we can't be scared 8 months of the year to be here.
Right.
So how do you have? What other ideas do you guys have?
So believe it or not, that's one of the things that connected us together is we're avid snowmobilers. We like different brands, unfortunately. You know, he's a Skidoo guy or a cat girl. But we have a lot of ideas of working together with the community, with events, and trying to get some of that activity to happen here. Even when we have low snow months, there's something unique about Detroit Lake is you can still snowmobile on the lake. And I think if people knew more often how many miles they could put on just by going to the different individual businesses on the lake. That, along with our ice fishing, yeah, I believe it's growing. I hope it grows more. I hope we get a lot of snow this year for the first time in many years. But creative ideas to try to keep, obviously our room's full as well. The saunas is just part of it, but you have to create events and you have to create the excitement to keep people coming. So
We had a lot of fishermen that
Yeah.
came.
yeah,
So it'd be nice if we had a place where they could clean fish, too. You know,
That's not
so-
hard to build.
No, that's pretty
Yeah.
simple,
MacGyver.
Yeah.
Isn't there an old fish house in the back?
that's a cabin.
That's a cabin.
That's
It looks like a fish house.
That's
Yeah.
what you're gonna remodel.
That is
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like a center.
No. It's a little better than that.
I'm impressed and excited by what you're doing here. My one question, weird history person, but what year was this built? And are you sharing information about that to your guests?
I don't know that exact year, and that is something that should be shared. And actually, old photos, we've kind of come across them. We've come across old newspaper articles that were in the attic. We've come across some very unique things for sure. But I don't have that exact year, and I would guess late 70s is what I think.
I thought it was early 60s.
It could be.
actually.
You might
I
be
don't know.
right.
I thought I
Yeah.
heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably
Yeah.
right.
Hotel feeling, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that really surprised us is that there's conduit with the electrical. So whoever built it was
Did a good job.
proactive
The whole
and
thing's
future
all
thinking.
conduit.
Yeah.
Which saved us a ton of money,
Yeah.
because when they first came in, we were looking at changing all the wiring out, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was like, ouch, but with the conduit, that worked.
So if it was built in the 50s, which is very possible it was, looking at the wallpaper, it does make sense. It was really well built, and I think that's where we're thankful, because you don't know when you're diving into something like this. It could be a very disastrous financial statement when you're done with it. So we got lucky.
Yeah.
First of all, I think your combination of a coffee shop and a convenience store on the beach is brilliant.
Oh.
So, nicely done.
Thank you.
Question for you though, how do you break the mindset that this is a motel and that to get people to understand they can come in off the street, buy stuff like that?
Yeah, so that's what we're kind of overcoming right now. And honestly, it's a big challenge for a lot of full-service hotels. I know that even the Holiday Inn suffered with the same kind of mindset, is that you have to be a guest to come to their restaurant. And there is ways to break through it. And I think it's creating that event and activity and participating in things. We have some banners that we're working with. I think what we offer is going to be a big pull. There's some phrases right now that we're wanting to participate in. Nido would be great to start offering in our gift shop, things like that, so that people know that they're able to come in. I have a young daughter who's 16, and her friends are very anxious for the coffee shop to open. And so I think word of mouth would really help us get over that bridge. And the fact that we're in the front part of this, I think that will also help. We've had a lot of walk-in traffic already, believe it or not, and our slushies are one of the biggest hits we've had so far. And I've been told that they like to mix it. They like half blueberry, half of the cherry. So we're hoping we overcome that bridge faster, because we do want to make sure that the public knows that this is for all of us. So.
Well, I know where I'm coming for pastries now, because the apple fritter looks amazing.
Oh, good. Perfect. Good.
I too just have to commend you. I'm so excited that you guys are open and that you have this here. I love it so much, and it's adorable. And shout out, I think you guys had offered that you have one room open for people to visit.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, so we have one of our units, Unit 8 is open. It's our one-bedroom unit, so we only have one of those available, but we so happen to be full. So that was one room that we have available for everybody to look at if you wanted to peek at one today. So.
Wonderful. And then a question that I have received, both I've been DM'd this, texted it, emailed it. The people are really very curious. Where is the Statue of Liberty?
Well,
That's a secret.
yeah. It was one of those things when we purchased this property last year, the old owners did want to take it with them. And it's a very unique thing. And, You know, it's funny, we found a Statue of Liberty, and she'll show it to you, and we put it up there, just to see if anybody would notice that, yeah.
I'll be shrunk it.
Yeah, but we do have big plans for that as well, and it goes back to that resort building that we're wanting to do so that it'll feel more welcoming and at home for, you know, people that are staying with us too, so, yeah.
I think people will be glad to know it lived on.
It's lived on, it's very safe, and it's, yeah.
Maybe we'll bring it back for a visit.
Yeah, right.
So before we wrap up, what has been your favorite part of this whole journey?
You know, just seeing it come together. He's been building his whole life, and
I
so,
love the change,
yeah.
you know, it's just- I enjoy building, you know, it's actually been a lot of fun for me, so.
But when you finally put those final pieces up, and you're just, it's,
Yeah.
and the vision is there, and it's really hard. I mean, there's a lot of times where I've had trouble seeing that final picture. But once you do, when you see it all coming together, it's really exciting. I think that's probably been our favorite part, is seeing it come to life, so.
So is there social media we should follow you on?
Yeah, so we are on Facebook and Instagram. Beachfront Haven DL is our Instagram, and then just Beachfront Haven. For Facebook, we are working on launching our site, our own website, where you can book directly with us versus going through a third party. But right now we are on Expedia's and Hotel.com and Booking.com. So, but for specials and things like that for our gift shop here, definitely follow us on Facebook, because we have some great social media managers on my team that, you know, they're creative, and yeah, definitely follow. So.
All right, and then how can we as a community support you?
Come in and visit. Have some coffee,
Doing a
have some
good job
pastry.
right now.
Yeah, just even stop in. You know, no need to purchase. Just come take a peek, and we love the company. Our staff love to visit, and like I said, we're in the hospitality business. So even if you're just here to know what's going on in town, or want to know what Project 412 has got going on in the park that's bringing so many people to town, definitely we're in the know. So we'd love to help and keep the community thriving if possible. So
People can stop in and take a selfie with the Statue of Liberty.
they sure
Yeah.
can.
Get down on one knee.
All right, well, thank you so much for sharing your story, and thank you to all of you for coming out for Deep Dive DL.
Yes.
We'll see you in the next one on August 21st. Let's give it up for them.
Thank you.